Morning. So welcome to today's daily sit. I'm just slightly out of view. Let me make an adjustment. That's better. And just like yesterday, we are continuing our journey today with breathing work. So just working on the breath, and in particular becoming aware of the connection of our breath in the body, and using that as a place to anchor attention. So if you're joining for the first time today and you're watching this later on and streaming it, or whether you are watching it now live, and you've not done this before, you might want to do a couple of things. One is to maybe watch yesterday's, because there's a bit more of an explanation around breath work and why breath work can be a real benefit to our longer term well-being, but also to our mental health. So just bearing that in mind, you might want to just have a look at that. But for today, we're going to get into our practice and just really move forward from yesterday, I guess, in terms of the way that we'll bring attention to our breathing this morning. So, as always, just finding a comfortable posture that feels okay for you. And then when you feel ready, just dropping your chin to your chest if you want to, particularly if you're sitting up. And if it feels okay, just lowering your eyes or closing your eyes, softening your gaze in some way. And let's begin the practice today by just checking in on how we feel, particularly in the body. Maybe noticing any areas of tension or discomfort. But just allowing whatever it is that we notice to be there without judgment. For instance, if there is any discomfort in your physical body right here and right now, it's already here. So let's not push it away. Let's almost welcome it in, acknowledge it and let it be there. And if you do notice that you're uncomfortable in any way, make some adjustments, shuffle about a bit, and just notice if you can maybe make yourself just a bit more comfortable than maybe you were initially. The invitation now is to bring your attention to your breathing. And in particular, the rise and the fall of your breath. Just noticing the breath as it comes and goes. And using the breath as a place to focus attention as you follow the breath, the flow of your breath in and out. Now, it's inevitable that the mind is going to wander, particularly in these silences. So when it wanders, just know that it's okay. It's very usual. Notice that you've wandered off to thoughts or distractions of some sort, and then slowly, gently, and with compassion, just bring your mind back to the practice. Remembering that we're using the breath as a place to focus our attention, breathing in and breathing out. Following the ebb and the flow, the rise and the fall. Bringing that sense of curiosity to this moment right here and right now. How does it feel in the body to follow the breath in this way? Allowing that curiosity to settle for a moment. Maybe just taking a moment to notice and become curious of the length of your breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. I wonder if you notice that your breath inwards is maybe shorter or even longer than the breath out. We're just exploring the breath. We're not changing anything. We're not trying to make the breath longer or shorter. We're just being with the usual breath as it comes and goes. And becoming curious of what it is that we notice and become aware of. Exploring the breath as if for the very first time. And if the mind wanders, once again in these spaces, just become aware that it's wandered. And then bring yourself back to the practice, using the breath as an anchor once again. As you follow the breath in and out. Just becoming curious also now of how the breath feels in your body. Maybe it's slowed slightly since the beginning of the practice. Maybe you notice that your breath is longer, deeper. Again, there's no right and there's no wrong. It could be that your experience is different to this, and that's okay. This is simply about our experience as individuals. As we nurture the ability to pay attention to our breathing, and in particular, the rise and the fall of the breath. Bringing attention now with curiosity, exploring the central parts of your body, your torso, and in particular, just noticing where the biggest movement is in and around your torso as you breathe in and out. Do you notice the biggest movement in your tummy? Maybe your ribs? Maybe your upper chest? Just sensing into that experience and that physical connection to your body as you breathe. And resting your attention in and around your torso, particularly at the front. Becoming aware of maybe where that bigger movement is situated in your body. As you breathe in and out, is it in your belly? Maybe in your ribs? Maybe in your chest? Or it could even be that you're finding it an interesting moment to decipher where that bigger movement actually is placed. Maybe there's some balance between 2 or 3 areas. But whatever it is, there's no right and there's no wrong. We're just connecting with our body breathing and becoming aware of how we are breathing right here and now, using the breath as an anchor. So bringing attention now back to your breath in the body as you breathe in and out, and watching, following that rise and fall as we come to the last few moments of this practice. Taking a moment now before we end the practice to notice how you feel. Maybe bringing attention to your body. How you feel emotionally. And how you feel in your mind, what's happening for you in your mind. And maybe, just maybe, without striving, without any agenda, the thoughts in your mind have quietened just a bit, almost like turning down the volume on a radio. And maybe, just maybe, you notice and have become aware and maybe just slightly more connected to your physical being. Noticing what the body needs, what the body's asking for. And maybe, just maybe, you've connected to your emotions and how you feel this morning. Whatever it is that you notice, right here, right now, in mind, in body, in heart, just allowing that to settle. Taking a moment to allow it to register. And then when you feel ready, blinking the eyes open. And depending on how you've been sitting, you might want to just have a bit of a stretch. And as always, I'll encourage you to just, make a few notes of what came up for you today in this practice. And as we continue these kind of journeys of practices for 5 or 6 or 7 days at a time, continuing that exploration, that sense of curiosity, and noticing, what's happening for you each day can really help us to bring attention to our whole experience. And when we bring attention to our whole experience, our mind, our emotions and our heart and our body, we can be so much more connected to who we're being in the moment. And by being connected to who we're being in the moment and how we feel in the moment, we're able to respond to our own needs rather than react to them, able to respond to life and anything it throws at us during any given day, and actually do that with a sense of self-care, a sense of nurturing, and a sense of compassion. So thanks very much for joining the Daily Sit. I'll be back again tomorrow, but an earlier time, 6:30 in the morning. I know that's early for some of you, but you can always stream it later on. And I look forward to seeing you at 6:30. Otherwise, stream it later on and I'll catch up with you later. Thanks a lot.